Today is November 13th, 2019, and this morning the moon actually entered Gemini at 3:46 a.m. In addition to that, Mercury is now sextiling Saturn at 9:35 a.m. That'll probably carry on throughout the day. Be aware of that energy. It brings in a thoughtfulness, right? It brings in a steadiness. Saturn steadying the mind, all right? Making us more careful in what we do. Now is a great time to sign a contract, to close a deal, follow through with an engagement or something like that. Now is the perfect time for something like that. This energy, provided it harmonizes with your own natal chart, is really good. Then, as we move later in the day, so 1 p.m., the sun is going to be sextiling Pluto. So at that time, we have to keep a couple of things in mind, right? The overall collective side of this aspect may not be felt on a conscious level. Pluto represents collective more than it does the individual because it's a transcendental planet. It's out there. One thing people don't understand about Pluto is that it also represents the transmigration of the soul. All right? And what that is just a passing of the soul at death into another body. So in this case, when Pluto comes on in and it's worried about us maybe transforming, so the passing of the soul from one stage to the next, and then you have the sun, which is integrating each soul's personality and giving it meaning. So the solar principle giving meaning to the next stage of evolution. Because these two planets are in harmony together, we want to make sure we are in tune with our own evolution at this time. That we're making sure we take a step back sometimes to reflect on our own psyche and what's going on in there. And also all the energy that we have pent up, because Pluto is kind of not the type of planet that's going to speak to you, I would say, blatantly. It's not going to be something like Mercury where you're going to intellectualize it or something. Pluto's going to be felt. There's going to be urges and you're going to have to follow those things. So later on, we have a third aspect of the day, and that's Mercury trining Neptune. Now, this is really good because this kind of just puts the mind at ease. It actually puts the mind in a pleasant state, and we want to make sure that when we have this energy floating around, that we use it. We use this pleasant time for the mind. Maybe read a fiction book, maybe read some nonfiction, maybe relax and just meditate for a little bit on your life a little bit. Maybe just allow yourself that time to daydream. Because Neptune is great for expanding the mind, to getting you in touch with your own ideals and your own vision for your life. And Mercury, representing the rational mind and the reasoning ability, could also allow you to bring that energy down at this time. So that's going to be happening at 5:34 p.m. Now, with this being said, you definitely want to make sure that your own natal chart is in harmonious aspect with this. If it's not, if you have squares or oppositions to Mercury or Neptune that are seriously afflicting, let's say from Saturn or Mars, you may not experience the more pleasant side of this aspect. And if that's the case, then pay attention to energy like, are you being too passive in your life? Neptune. Okay? Are you not speaking your mind? Mercury. So there are a few things that may go into this, especially if Mars is tied up with an opposition to one of these planets. Maybe Mars is the one that's getting suppressed if it's going up against Neptune. Maybe you've chosen to be too passive, Neptune, and it's resulted in your personal ego taking a back seat and you're not asserting yourself. There's other factors here. If Mars takes over, it could undercut your more Neptunian vision. You may not link your own desires up with something larger. So when these planets are at play, we have to make sure we take into account all of these things. Obviously, that's why I'm here. If you have any questions, if you need some information, if you want to go over your own personal natal chart, then you can always come on down to Pixie Dust in Sarasota. I'll be there today from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. And I'll also be there next Monday and Wednesday, because I'm there every Monday and Wednesday from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. So if you don't have an appointment, call and book one now. That's Pixie Dust in Sarasota, Florida. I'm going to link the store into the description of this video. And if you want to come in, you can call ahead. You just click on the link, call the shop. My Facebook, the number on my Facebook here is to the shop. So you call them up, you book an appointment with me. We can do Skype, we can do phone, we can do anything. We can discuss relationships, career, whatever it may be. So I hope that this was helpful. This information, I try to give information that's very practical, that you can use, and that's not just so abstract that it can't be brought down onto this plane where you know what action steps you can take as a result of it. So hopefully I'll see you at Pixie Dust. If not, you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.